Pilates Cure. I'm Andrea Nichols, owner of Pilates Cure and one of the teachers here. And this is our fundamentals to Pilates workout. Many of you probably just watched our Getting Started video, which goes over a few of the guiding principles in Pilates. And in this next video, we are going to take some of those principles and apply them to a fundamental workout. We are going to start lying down on our mat today, and I have my pillow close by my side. If you would like to go ahead and put it up underneath your head, if you need a little extra cushion, please feel free to go ahead and do so. We're going to start today with just a breath. So we're laying down into our neutral, and we have our feet about a hip distance apart, and our knees are about a hip distance apart. So that's about the distance of your fist. We're talking hip bones. So our hip bone, our thigh bone, knee bone, shin bone, and toe bone are all in a straight line like train tracks. And from here, we're just going to take a nice big breath in and out. Focusing on the lateral breathing. Trying to move the rib bones on the back of our body. 2 more breaths in. And out. Last time in. And out. Now I want you to place the heel of your hand onto your hip bones, your fingertip onto your pubic bone. Those 3 bony landmarks should be even right now. And we're going to go into some pelvic tilts. So we're going to inhale, and then on your exhale, the hip bones will sink down, the pubic bone will rise up, and then we're going to go back to neutral, and then we're going to arch the pelvis off. And then we go to a neutral, and we imprint, drawing the belly button down deeply into the spine, going back to neutral, and then anterior pelvic tilt, we really arch the low back, and then back to neutral. One more time, we're going to exhale, imprint, inhale, back to neutral, and then arch off, and then back to neutral. So we're back into the plane where we're resting flat onto your sacrum. Hip bones and pubic bone are in the same plane. Now I want you to focus up on the ribs for a second without letting the pelvis move. I want you to take your fingers and put right underneath the sternum, right in between the 2 ribs, right at the top of the body. I want you to take an inhale, and then on your exhale, think of squeezing your fingers with your ribs and pulling those fingers down into the body. And then inhale. The ribs separate wide. Don't let your fingertips go between the rib bones. And then exhale. See if you can squeeze deeper onto the fingertips and pull them deeper in the body. One more time. Inhale without losing that hugging sensation on the fingers. And exhale. And most of us will find it's really hard to find the weight in the back of the rib and the zip of the ribs up here, that squeezing sensation, and keep your neutral pelvis. So it's just going to take some practice. From here, I want you to place both hands onto both hip bones. I want you to imagine we've placed a level across your knees. We're going to inhale, and on an exhale, think of sinking your right hip down just about 1/2 inch, and then come back to there even. The left hip will sink down about 1/2 inch, and then come back to even. And this is a movement you might not even be able to see on camera, but I can absolutely feel it happening underneath my fingers. And that's true for a lot of Pilates. It's a sensation of feeling the movement more than seeing the movement sometimes. Small movements can be very, very powerful. And then come back to neutral. We're going to maintain our neutral pelvis here, and your arms are going to go down long to the side. I want you to think of reaching your fingertips down towards the heels so the arms become really long and the shoulders become depressed down away from the ears. We're going to pick the right leg up into tabletop, and lower it down. Exhale up and inhale down. As we're doing this, try not to let the pelvis rock. So you're trying not to move the spine. If you feel like you're rocking and you can't figure out how to stop, I want you to make a diamond shape underneath you with you're basically cradling your sacrum. And then you are going to bring right leg up and down. Exhale, left leg up and down. And that should help stabilize the pelvis. And as we increase the strength and stability, we'll be able to remove the hands. Last time on the left, and then we're going to pause. I want you to bring your right leg up into tabletop, which is where your knee is right above your hip. Your heel is right in line with your knee. You're going to bring your left leg up into tabletop, and they are still about a hip distance apart. We're still neutral, and we're still pulling your ribs in and down like you're squeezing onto your fingers. And we're going to lower the right leg down and then pull it back up. Left leg down and pull it up. 3 more sets down. Two more. Making sure as the leg goes down, the ribs don't arch off. Last set. You may or may not touch the floor. That doesn't matter to me. I'm more concerned about you knowing where your neutral is and being able to maintain that neutral. Now I want you to grab the pillow that you have with you, and I want you to place it in between the knees. I want you to squeeze firmly onto that pillow. And then we're going to lower both legs down. And as you do, pull the rib bones together and then lift back up. And we're going to lower down. The object is not to get to the floor. The object is to squeeze onto the pillow, maintain neutral pelvis, and then come back up. We lower down and we lift back up. Last 3 here. Lower down and lift back up. Last 2. Exhale down. And inhale up. Last one, exhale down and inhale up. Hold your pillow, lower 1 foot down and then the second foot down. We're going to place that pillow down to the side again, and then I want you to reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. Your back of your hands, your elbows are slightly lower than your shoulders. So they're not up here, they're not coming higher than the shoulders. They're not even directly above, but they're ever so slightly lower, and your palms are facing away. I want you to shrug the shoulders to the ears and then pull them down. One more time, shrug them up and then pull the shoulder blades down. The armpits slide down. You're still neutral. I want you to think of not protracting or retracting, but you're maintaining your neutral. We're going to inhale to prepare, and on an exhale, push the arms down towards the hips, reaching past the tips of the toes. And now we're going to inhale, lift the arms without arching the ribs off. And we exhale, push like you're pushing through water. And then we're going to inhale right back up. Now we're going to take the arms over the head on an exhale without letting the ribs arch off. And then inhale, come right back up. Exhale, the arms go over the head without changing the shape of the spine. And we inhale, come back up. We're going to take one hand to the hip, one hand to the head, and we're going to exhale back to center. And we're going to go the opposite direction, reaching finger to finger without any 4 corners of your Pilates box moving. Let's try that one more time. Don't let the right shoulder creep up as the right arm goes up towards the ear. And we exhale back to center, and the left reaches up as the right reaches down. This Pilates box is square. I pulled my ribs in a little more, and we come back to center. Now we're going to add an upper thoracic flexion. So we're not going to push the arms down to achieve that. We're not going to lift the head up to achieve that. We're going to focus on upper mid-thoracic. So the ribs are pulling in. You're going to inhale, and on an exhale, melt your sternum down so much the head lifts, the shoulders lift, and then we'll follow through. And we're going to inhale, roll back to where we came from. And we're going to exhale, squeeze all the air out of the body. And we inhale, roll back. One more like this. We're going to inhale to prepare, exhale as we contract the abdominals to curl up. And then inhale, rolling back. We're going to bring your right leg into tabletop. Inhale. Exhale, curl up, looking to your pinky toe and then down to the pubic bone. And we roll back. 2 more times. Exhale, we roll up. And inhale back. Last time, I want you to roll up here and pause. Reach deeper into the fingertips. Extend your right leg out. Bend your right leg in. Extend your right leg out. Bend your right leg in. None of the 4 points of your Pilates box is moving. And then we're going to roll back and lower the left leg. Right leg. Left leg comes up in a table. Ribs are still pulling in. Pelvis is still neutral. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, curl up, getting taller through the spine, gazing to the pubic bone. And then inhale, roll back. Exhale, scoop through the abdominals, pulling the navel into the spine, but don't imprint. And we roll back. Last one is if you're pushing something down into the earth with the arms, we're going to hold here. Reach deeper into the fingers, and we extend the leg out and exhale back in. Don't let the movement of the leg move your Pilates box. Last one, out, in, and come all the way down. We're going to bring both legs up into tabletop now, and when we do that, I want you to make sure that your pelvis doesn't tilt. It's pretty challenging to bring both legs up and still keep your pelvic girdle, lumbopelvic stability. So we're going to exhale one leg up, check your Pilates box. I still like thumbs to the bottom rib, middle finger to hip bones, and then exhale, second leg comes up. I want you to squeeze both knees together as if that pillow is there. And if you find you're getting low back pain or hip pain, I want you to put that pillow right back there. If you're able to maintain your neutral pelvis here, we're going to inhale the arms up to the ceiling. And now we're going to take another breath on an inhale. And exhale, curl up, reaching through the finger. And we're going to inhale, roll back. And we're going to exhale, scoop through the navel to curl up, reaching deeper into the fingers. And we're going to inhale, roll back. On your next one, we're going to exhale, pull the navel into the spine, curl up, pause there, deeply reaching into the belly. Lower one leg down to the mat, lower the second leg down to the mat, and we're going to begin to pump the arms. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale out, 2, 3, 4, and 10. As you pump the arms, you're reaching the fingers past the shin bones, and you're pumping the arms a good 6 to 8 inches. You are not bobbing as you pump, so you're stable through the pelvis, you're stable through the powerhouse. If you would like a little extra challenge, bring one leg up in a tabletop. Extend it out. Bend it in. And lower it down. And left leg up. Extend it out. Bend it in. And lower it down. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down. Now I want you to grab the pillow again and place it in between the inner thighs, and I want you to have your feet about 10 to 12 inches away from your sitting bones. I want you to think about the placement of your feet. Notice the weight distribution. Are you rolled out to the pinky toes? Are you rolled into the big toe? I want you to try to find even weight across all 10 toes. So from big toe to pinky toe, you feel pretty evenly grounded. And then I want you to think about the weight distribution from the balls of the toes to the heels. In this particular exercise, I want you a little bit more weighted into the heels than into the balls of the toes. So let's say about a 60-40 split, with about 60% of the weight into the heels. You're squeezing onto the pillow, not with a death grip, but just a tight enough squeeze that you can feel your inner thighs, your adductors working. And now this is a feel it sensation, not an actual movement, but I want you to imagine you are dragging your heels towards your sitting bones. It's not actually going to happen. I don't want you to actually slide your feet, but I want you to feel those muscles kick on a little bit more. We're gonna keep that activation. We're gonna inhale, and on an exhale, we're gonna imprint the low spine and just begin to lift the tailbone and the booty off, and then we're gonna roll back down and find our neutral. Arms are actively pushing to the side as we inhale and exhale, imprint. Think of more weight in the heels, dragging the heels towards your seat, squeezing onto the pillow, and we roll back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, and we exhale. And we're gonna go back down. Last time, we're gonna inhale, and we exhale. Squeezing the pillow, don't let the knees drift apart, and we go back down into our neutral. Remove your pillow, and we're gonna place it back out of the way, and I want you to extend both legs out, nice and long. So we still wanna maintain our neutral here, hip bones and pubic bone in the same plane. Rib bones are still pulling in and down, like you're trying to squeeze your fingers in and down into the body, or like you're holding a small olive or grape right in the upper ribs. Your feet are about a hip distance apart, and I want you to really flex out of the ankles, and then just point the toes. And flex out of the ankles as if you were standing flat to the floor, and then point the toes. As you flex and point the ankle joint, nothing else should be moving. So we shouldn't feel the pelvis move or the spine move. On your next one, I want you to flex at the ankles and pause. You can lift the head if you want, look at the feet, make sure your ankles are in good alignment. So most of us, we have to think about pulling the blades of our pinky toes, the outer edges of our feet back, or we end up sickling at the ankle. So imagine you're flat to the floor. When we're standing flat to the floor keeps our feet and our ankles in alignment. So we want that here as well. Toes, knees, and hip bones are straight to the ceiling. I like to place my hands to my hips on this one. We are gonna bend your right knee, and the right foot kind of gets pointed by the floor. And then we're gonna pick your right leg up, extend it to the ceiling, flex the ankle, and lower it back down. And then the left leg is gonna bend, and the toe gets pointed by the floor. Bend it in, reach it up, flex the ankle, and lower it down. We have 2 more sets. Right leg comes in, extend it up, flex, and lower it down. Left leg comes in, don't let your hips move. So that's why we have our hands to our hips here, so we know where our hips are the whole time. Last set, we're gonna go right leg in, pull the knee into the chest, reach the leg long, flex the ankle, and think of reaching that right leg longer than your left leg. And then the left leg comes in, pulls in, extends up, flexes, and reaches out longer than it was before. A little bit more challenging here. We're gonna try both legs, but stay with me because the variation is a little different. Make sure you maintain a neutral pelvis. As we bend both knees in, we're not rounding the spine into a cannonball. Extend both legs up, flex both ankles, point both toes, bend both knees, find the floor, slide the legs out, and flex both ankles. Making sure that when you pull the knees in, you don't round the low back. We're gonna do it again. So we're focused on stability of the powerhouse. We're gonna inhale, exhale, drag both legs in. Pelvic stability pulls the knees in, straighten the legs, flex the ankles, wonderful stretch there. Point the toes, bend the knees, find the earth, go all the way back out and flex the ankle. One more time, we're gonna bend the knees, drag them in, extend, flex, point, bend, tap the toes, slide them out, and as Lolita San Miguel would say, flex the ankles like the period at an end of your sentence. So next, I'm gonna have you lie onto your side, and you may want your pillow again. You are gonna lay down onto your left hip, and if you would like a pillow, you can prop your head up on the pillow. I am going to just prop my head up onto my hand, and you're going to use the back side of your mat to make sure the soles of your feet back of your hips, back of your ribs, and your bottom elbow are in a straight line. Your top arm is about the height of your sternum into the floor, and you're kind of rolling into it. Your hips are really stacked here, so we want your top hip directly over your bottom hip. So for now, before we put our hand down into placement, I want you to take your top hand to your top hip, and I want you to slide that hip up to your rib, and then slide it away. One more time, slide it up, and then slide it away and pause. We want to stay here with our hip stacked directly over the bottom hip. Our knees are together, our heels are together. Again, we're going to place that hand right down in front of the rib, and we're going to kind of roll into it just a little bit and really push the floor away. You want that top arm nice and active. And we're going to lift the top knee and then lower. Lift the top knee and lower. As you lift the top knee, this top hip isn't rolling back, and we're going to lift and lower. From here we have 5 and down, 4, last 3. This is what we call the clam series. We're not going to do all of the moves today. Last one, lower down and pause. And now lift your top heel. Don't let your hip roll forward, and lower it down. Lift your top heel and lower it down. And from here we have 6 and 5, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it all the way down. Lift your top knee and hip your top knee and heel only about the height of your hip. So it's a small gap, about a fist distance between the knees and the heels. Hand to the hip for just this first one. Swing the knee forward, but don't let your low back round. And then swing your knee away and don't let your ribs pop. Now, hand back to the mat for stability. We're going to come forward, drawing the navel in and back. Don't let the ribs pop out. And we come in and we exhale back. Inhale forward and exhale back. 2 more times. Inhale forward and exhale back. Last time, we inhale forward and we exhale back. Bring your right leg, grab that ankle, and we're going to hold it to the floor, and you're going to extend your bottom leg out. From here, bottom ankle is flexed, and we're going to think of lifting the arch to the ceiling and down. Exhale, down. Exhale, down. Think of pushing your top knee and your top hip away, and we have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way down. We're going to roll onto your bellies, and I want you to take your hands right up underneath your shoulders. Your legs are out long. I want you to hover your nose right above the mat. And now I want you to just look, lifting the nose, look up to the far side of the room. And you feel the back of your neck is really short. And now look, drawing a line all the way back down, and you think of looking down directly underneath the head. The back of the neck feels long. Right where the skull and the spine meet, the occiput, I want you to think of there's a string pulling you up to the ceiling there, so you feel the head is kind of floating. And now I want you to push the feet, the top of the feet, down into the mat. Push the pubic bone down into the mat. Draw the belly button up, and that gives us a really strong sense of activation. Slide the hands forward so they're a little bit in front of the shoulders. And now I want you to take a breath, inhaling. On your exhale, think of stretching from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. And we're going to begin to look across the floor. Not just our head is moving, but also our spine. And we're going to come up into a swan. And now exhale, draw that line across the floor, and we come back down. Take a second, push the feet into the floor, pubic bone into the floor, belly button up to the spine. And we're going to come up on an inhale. Reaching through the spine long, and exhale. Back down. What we have to think about a lot is our shoulders. Don't let them elevate here. Really keep pulling them down. Inhale. And it's almost like you're trying to pull yourself across the mat. It's almost like you're trying to pull the hands back towards your body. And we exhale. Keep trying to pull the hands back towards your body as you come back down. Just one more time. We're going to inhale. Think of pulling the hands back towards you as you lift up. I don't care how high you go. I want you to control your movement. And we come back down. I want you to stack your hands and rest your forehead onto your hands. Pull your shoulders down into that depression. Push the pubic bone down and the tops of the feet down. Lift your right leg up and lower it down. Lift your left leg up and lower it down. As you lift your right leg up, stretch it longer, and we lower it down. As you lift your left leg up, don't let your right hip bone roll off, and lower it down. As you lift your leg up, pull the belly button up to the spine. And we exhale, get longer. We're going to add on, we're going to reach it up and pause. Bend the knee, straighten the leg, lower the leg. Lift the leg, bend the knee, straighten the leg, lower the leg. Lift the leg, bend the knee, straighten the leg, lower the leg. Lift the leg, bend the knee, straighten the leg, lower the leg. One more set. Exhaling and lower down. Exhale up, inhale bend, exhale lengthen and lower down. Take the hands back underneath the shoulders. Push yourself back into a shell stretch and reach the arms forward. Open your knees and create a space for you to comfortably rest. And now I want you to see if you can round even more. Think of tucking your tailbone under, rounding your spine, thinking of your bottom rib curling up to the ceiling, thinking of your tailbone reaching down between the heels. I want you to take an inhale and try to feel the ribs on the back of the body expand. And then exhale all the way out. All right, so we're gonna come to the other side, either propping up onto your pillow, or I'm gonna prop up onto my hand again. Back of the heels, back of the hips, back of the ribs, bottom shoulder, bottom elbow, all in a straight line. Top hand is pushed right up underneath the ribs. Top hip is stacked, so if you need to take a second, think of that alignment. Push your top hip away. And we're gonna start by lifting the top knee and down. And we lift and down. Exhale, up and down. Last 5 and 4. Last 3. Draw your sits bones together. Don't let your top hip roll back. Last 1. And now just top heel and lower down. As you lift your top heel, don't let your top hip move. Keep pushing it away from the body. Keep pushing that top hand into the floor so you feel the upper body contributing a little bit to the control and stability of this movement. Pilates is truly a whole body workout. We're trying to connect our entire body and our mind together in one fluid motion. So not a lot of segmenting body parts here. Last 2. And we're gonna come down. Hands to the hip for the first few of these. Lift your knee and your heel about a fist distance from your bottom limb. Make sure your top hip stays reaching away from your top rib, and we're gonna swing the leg forward, and we're gonna take it back. And we're gonna swing it forward, and we're gonna take it back. Now, if you feel stable, your top hand can go towards the floor. Keep pushing into the floor with the top hand as we exhale, and we inhale, and we exhale, and we inhale. Last one here. We're gonna exhale, and we inhale. Bring your top leg forward, grab your ankle, and hold it to the earth. Extend your bottom leg. Make sure your hips are stacked, so think of pushing that top hip away. Shoulders are back and down. Bottom ankle is flexed, and we're gonna lift the arch up and down. As you lift the arch up, keep pushing your top hip away. So there's an oppositional force. We haven't talked a lot about the opposition in Pilates yet, but we will. There's a ton of opposition in Pilates. It really centers out of the control. We're gonna do 3 more. 2, and the last one. Now, while we're on this side, we are gonna go into what we call book covers. You might want your pillow to lay your head down onto, or if you feel comfortable, you can do like I'm gonna do, and I'm just going to cradle my bottom side of my head in my hand, my top side of my head into our top hand goes up onto the top side of my hand. I'm going to say elbows together. They very well might not touch, like mine aren't touching, but that top elbow is coming down some. Hips are stacked, and we are going to inhale. Follow your top elbow as you look up to the ceiling, and then exhale, come back down. We're going to do that a few more times. We're going to inhale, and maybe we go a little further than we did last time, and we exhale. And we inhale. Oh, I was able to get my shoulders and elbows a little closer together. And exhale, not allowing the hips to move. This is going to be our last one. We're going to rotate as far back as you comfortably can right now in this moment, keeping your eyes on your rear elbow, and then exhale all the way back in. Take both arms straight out in front of you and touch them together. Again, if you need a cushion for your neck, feel free to have one. You're going to slide your top arm forward, and then you're going to pull it back. And again, slide it forward and pull it back. One more time, slide it forward, pull it back, hand to hand, and pause. We're going to go to the other side. So we're going to flip on over. Grab your pillow if you want it. Lie yourself down, cradling your head with your bottom arm. Hands to the top, hips are stacked. And we're going to inhale, open, lifting the elbow to the sky, and exhale down. Inhale, open, maybe a little bit further, and exhale. So we're truly spiraling the ribs open. Hips stay square. So we're getting a rotation, and it feels so good. We're going to do two more. Open and exhale, close. Last one. We're going to take this one open to whatever your max is. Your ribs are rotating. Your cervical spine is rotating. Your elbows are as wide as you can get them. And then we're going to exhale as we close. Both arms come out in front of us. Head is long and relaxed. And we're going to slide the top arm forward and then slide it back. And we exhale, slide it forward and stretch. And we inhale back. Last time, slide it forward and stretch. And we inhale, hand to hand. I would like you to come up into a seated position, similar to how I am now, where both knees are bent and both heels are over to one side. We call this a mermaid. You might also want to sit on your cushion, so you would just place it up underneath you, a little bit more underneath your left hip than your right, since our heels are out to our right side. I want you to reach both arms out to the side, making sure that they're in your peripheral vision. If they're too far back, you're not going to be able to see them, and you're going to lose your connection into the upper abdominals. So we want the hands in our peripheral vision the whole time. We're going to inhale, and as you inhale, I want you to stretch the spine long, lifting your ribs off your waist, and we're going to exhale as we go over, reach, and then we're going to inhale, sit up taller, and we exhale, grab the shin bone, and we stretch, and we inhale, sit up taller, exhale, we reach, and we inhale, grow even taller. Last time, we're going to exhale, and we inhale. We're going to switch sides, so if you're using your pillow, just take it to the other side. This time it'll be a little bit more underneath your right hip than your left, and both heels are off to your left-hand side. Arms are out into your peripheral vision. We start with an inhale, getting taller, lifting the ribs off to the waistline, and we're going to exhale, reach over, stretch out of your top fingers, and we inhale, get taller. Hug your shin as we exhale, reach the top arm longer, and we inhale, lift the ribs higher. One more set. We're going to exhale, and we inhale, and we exhale, and we inhale, and come all the way down. I hope you enjoyed your fundamental mat Pilates workout today. You can do this workout as many times as you want. It is always a great review to go back to. I encourage even my most advanced clients to come back and do this workout often. It really keeps us grounded, it keeps us connected, and it really helps us advance our mind-body connection. If you have any questions, please reach out to us, let us know. I'd be happy to hear from you. And until I see you again, I wish you health and happiness.